Informanté Radio, the sound for a new age.
First and foremost, I want to thank everybody out there.
Please don't give a political speech. This is not the platform.
This is the morning mix on Informanté Radio.
My favorite show.
No,
But that's the point. Just don't ghost them.
stop it. Class.
I'm not.
No, nobody can force you to be in something you don't want. Everybody has
you're
a
right.
right to break up. If something is not working for you, look, you don't own people.
Yeah.
People don't belong to you. Okay?
Anymore.
People don't belong to you. If it's not working,
Hallo, praat vir jouself.
mense los
Hy vrou by my
en
is
mense word gelos.
my property.
It's both sides.
Yeah.
You leave, you get left. It's
Yeah,
just,
I
it's
mean,
normal. So
that-
you don't owe people. But I'm just saying, like,
Hallo.
be courteous enough to tell them.
Hallo, asseblief Maria. Hy vrou by my is it's my property. Laat ons mekaar net mooi
Now you're just
verstaan.
trying to provoke me.
Ja.
Do you know how you can prove to yourself that she's not your property? Just try doing anything that you're not supposed to.
Hey.
You're quickly gonna learn just how much of not your property she is.
How much is her own person?
Please follow us on Facebook and subscribe via iTunes.
As you journey through life towards your retirement goal, build your wealth with Elite Save. Earn 8.5% compound interest on your investment term while choosing when and how you receive your interest returns. It's tailor-made to help you succeed. For more info, SMS Elite Save to 31844 and we will call you back. Underwritten by Trustco Life.
The views and opinions expressed on the radio program by the guests, advertisers, news bulletins, call-in listeners or chatters are solely the views and opinions of the source who express them. They do not necessarily reflect the opinions and the views of Trustco Group International, the broadcast regulators in Namibia, or that of the Informanté radio station.
This is Informanté Radio, the sound for a new age.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9, Monday to Fridays.
The morning mix.
Top Jerry, what you want?
Emil on the mic.
I'm just tryna get my dollar.
I'm just tryna get my dollar.
Itinye wakini my shoulder.
Itinye wakini my shoulder.
Ayonda haru sumariwe. Chepa haru sumariwe. Ndolo kwa haru sumariwe. Mixo kwa haru sumariwe.
I wanna be the greatest. I wanna be the baddest. How can I be the baddest if you won't pay me my money? How can I be the greatest if you won't pay me my money? Futo mula yange. Top Jerry, what futo mula yange? 'Cause I work for my money, so you give me my money.
I'm just tryna get my dollar.
I'm just tryna get my dollar.
Itinye wakini my shoulder.
Itinye wakini my shoulder.
Ayonda haru sumariwe. Chepa haru sumariwe. Ndolo kwa haru sumariwe. Mixo kwa haru sumariwe. I'm just tryna get my money. Please forgive my attitude. Wasi menota shitengo mwalu. 1 + 1 = 2. We don't perform for no exposure. Shut your exposure. Kaina fiku yeto kuria. Getting my money, I ain't here for no beef. Nandanda kala nitelege moko beef. And if you hating, boy, you better take a seat. Talk Jerry what Mr. Andrew wanna be. I'm just tryna get my dollar.
I'm just tryna get my dollar.
Itinye wakini my shoulder.
Itinye wakini my shoulder.
Ayonda haru sumariwe. Chepa haru sumariwe. Ndolo kwa haru sumariwe. Mixo kwa haru sumariwe.
Ondara ozimaliwa. Andizilongele nudini
Always loving local music right here on Informanté Radio, the sound for a new age, y'all. It is the sounds of Andrew on the beat featuring Top Cherry and Paige from Ethnics. I don't know if you guys know Ethnics, probably one of the hottest duos in the Namibian music industry. This one is titled Dollar. ML also on this one. Good morning. Welcome to the morning mix here on Informanté Radio. In your company until just before 10 o'clock, all right? If you're, of course, a regular, you will know that Tate Neville Basson is not here. He's already on holiday. Somehow he was here yesterday in the afternoon, dwelling around here for some other reason. But in any case, it lasts a vakantie gehad. Should be in the coast by now. Rich Auntie is going to be joining me in studio in a little bit. So, yeah. For now, let's quickly check out your coronavirus numbers for as of yesterday evening or as of this morning. We've got 16,729 cases altogether that were reported in Namibia since the outbreak of the pandemic last year in March. 163 deaths. I think that is an additional 2 or 3, if I'm not mistaken, deaths since we were on the air yesterday. 14,837 recoveries. Right now, that means our active caseload at the moment stands at 1,726. This number keeps going up. Yesterday, we registered a total of 190 new cases. Guys, just over the past couple of days, 190, 267, I think, at the previous day. 172 before that, 324 before that. So it's not looking well. We also had 301 before that. So the infection rate, Semi, moro first.
Moro.
So jy het besluit jy kom spring in nie.
Ja, my net is still big good command. That's Maria anyway. Because you sound weird being alone on a street.
You know what? Yeah. It is what it is. Kom ek gesels maar met myself hier so.
Mam yourself gesels. You just look like you face yourself met homself.
Wat maak jy gaan net huis toe? The way the numbers are looking, bruh. I understand that the president is going to be addressing us tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow, 10 a.m., if I'm not mistaken.
Wednesday. Hey.
Wednesday. If almost net, every time Ramaphosa says something, then our president is always on standby.
Like, hey, I also have something to say. I also want to address the Namibian people.
So I don't know how he's going to do things, but,
what was Cyril's decision in South Africa?
Cyril has decided, especially has marked out mostly the red zones, where they have... I think Gauteng is one of them because they have just so many cases. But mostly the red zones where there are beaches, those beaches will be closed. Of course,
Durban and Cape Town is going to be
Yeah, so he basically just marked where they got more cases and he's decided that there will be no more
social gatherings, basically.
At the beaches from the 16th up until the 3rd of January. Then the others, he said, they will be monitoring to see how people are behaving, but black people, it's like putting candy in front of the kids and say they must not eat the candy. What do you expect?
Especially once you throw alcohol into the mix, right?
Yeah.
I mean, people start out even wearing their masks, but once that alcohol starts to kick in, then masks are out the window, sanitizer is out the window, social distancing out the window.
Out the windows. But it also gatherings, indoor gatherings have been reduced to 100 people. Outdoor gatherings is 250.
Our outdoor.
They've decided these beach parties. Nada. Prohibited.
So
they said no.
If you bought yourself your plane ticket to Cape Town to go party at the beach or to Durban, so Ringo, there's not going to be any such thing. I don't know,
there was an event in Gauteng. You were specifically speaking about an event, that triggered this whole situation. And at that event, 1,000 young people came out testing positive for COVID.
That's like a super spreader.
Yeah.
Because imagine those 1,000 people, each one or most of them infected at least one person.
Yeah, so and they don't even know who those people. So they decided, gatherings as on so ankan. By January we'll really have a bad situation, and it will be reflect back on our economy as well. Alcohol sales, I think he mentioned something from Monday to Thursdays.
So the nice days are the ones where you can't buy any alcohol. It must be a little frenzy in South Africa right now. Everybody, I remember when we were trying to stock up here in Namibia. Yeah. It's going to be interesting because if you look at our numbers at the moment, Semi, it is looking like we are basically entering like a second wave of the pandemic here in Namibia.
Yeah, and then it's the second wave will be very dangerous if we let it. Judging from what Ramaphosa also said, the way the cases are going up now seems like if they don't do anything, the second wave
is going to be harder.
It's going to be harder.
And we're seeing that. We saw it in Europe. We are seeing it in America. Even in some areas in South America, you see that the second wave is really hitting hard wherever it hits. So, and we are going into our holiday season. Although we are in the middle of summer, which we thought was, of course, going to help with the virus. But it doesn't seem to be the case because now everybody's in that party mood, in that festive mood.
The fear of not knowing what the president's going to say. People will just start panicking and you'll just probably see them touching out of Ventuk today.
As I believe. Can I see we have gin bottles here in the studio, Cranny? Just in case. That the Hage decides we are.
I'm not going to wait for Friday. I'm chipping today.
Oh, it's going to be interesting. I really am curious to hear what the president has to say when he addresses the nation tomorrow. On this COVID-19 situation because I think we need to take some form of action to curb this the infection rate.
Get it under control.
Yes. Even if we keep it at a steady, just under 100 new cases every day, I think that is more manageable than this recording
more than 100
300 cases a day, 300 and something cases a day. That is, we're going to...
Mary, kom sit by jou stoel.
Ja.
Ek het veel warm gemaak.
Ja. Ons is klaar.
Ons is klaar. Ons het COVID gepraat, ons het klaar gepraat. Kom sit.
COVID. Right, some of the comments, good morning from the other side. Yeah. Hello from the other side. You're even making me sing, boy. Stephanus James, Morome Bro. I love this show so much, says Camilo Helao Jaimene. We love that you love the show and we appreciate all the support. A very good morning to you, the Morning Mix crew. Morning Q, man, and to all the top fans and my people. Moro Moro Cuba, Moro Rich Auntie, Moro Moro top fans. Guys, I missed that never. I now go tell him on his timeline. Why are you telling us he's not here, Mos? Moro Maria.
Mora.
Ungin?
Ungini, it's too early for Ungini.
Okay. Walele po.
Wanangara pana.
Ungura iwa.
Ailina.
Iwa nawa. No no me mo pueri. Eri nawa. All right. Estomi, he's saying lockdown will come your way. Although we are anticipating it, we do not. I honestly, I wouldn't put money on the president announcing another lockdown. To be honest,
I don't think so.
Yeah, I also don't think so.
I think what he will, because he knows it's December. He knows people are traveling to go see families.
Yeah.
He knows what December means to the Namibian people.
Yeah. Most people have been working all year just waiting for December to be able to go see their families.
But apart from all of that is plow season.
Yes, also.
People have to go to the village to help
harvest,
and so forth. So I don't think he will lock us down, but what he will most likely do is he'll probably put systems in place to curb the virus. So probably nightclub.
Close the nightclubs again.
Start closing the nightclubs again.
Oh, earlier. Now they're operating up until midnight. Yeah?
Yes. Probably reduce the gathering from now 200 maybe back to 50. I think you'll obviously... Yeah, I think those are the areas in which he will look, because also this being wedding season,
Yes.
He will obviously try to reduce the numbers.
Look, it's interesting because Windhoek and to a certain extent the Erongo region also are sort of hot zones, especially Windhoek at the moment. And in the next week and a half, the coast is going to be flooded with people from everywhere. And and it's not just going to be the coast, because like you're saying, it's wedding season, so a lot of people are going to flock to the northern regions of Namibia as well. The way the numbers are looking there, like I think it's safe to say we are entering like a second wave.
Yep. Second wave is a big thing. I don't think.
I mean, the way the numbers are looking now, the infection rate, I think that is where we're heading.
Yeah, I know. But the numbers have dropped so drastically. I think also, they're also climbing, of course, drastically. Nobody's disputing that. Or maybe I'm just hopeful.
And like when you look at the graph, right, especially of the infection rates, like we are now at the same levels we had back in mid-August, when we were basically at the peak of infections in Namibia. That's the same numbers, daily numbers, that we are reporting now at this point in time. So I don't know if that in earnest means that we are entering like a second wave, or it just looks like that. Maybe like people are saying it's just the surge because a lot of people have to travel, so now obviously they're getting tested before they do travel, or they're required to test before they travel. So maybe that's why we have all these positive cases coming out at the moment. Let's hope so.
Required to test when traveling where?
Holiday, traveling out of the country.
But are people really traveling out of the country?
Yeah.
I'm not saying a large number of travel. I don't.
People are traveling. A lot of people are traveling. Yeah. Anyway, ek is al moeg coronavirus, guys.
Stefanus Ananias brought up a very interesting something to think about. But okay, he asked it as a question, but something obviously to think about. He's saying, Rich Auntie, do you think the police are really going to continue with the breathalyzers the way the numbers are looking? It'll be interesting.
Yeah. During the state of emergency, they were not using breathalyzers. I see they're back now.
Yeah, I think if I ever got stopped, not that I drink anyway, so I wouldn't be stopped for drunk driving, but let's say they assumed I was drunk.
And they wanted to breathalyze.
And they wanted me to breathalyze. I will plain flat refuse to. But I think they're taking blood samples now. I think it's just a harder, probably take your blood sample for testing.
But that's, you probably have to be sort of visibly drunk for them to want to draw your blood.
Yes. And they would have to take you to the hospital.
Of course.
Yeah. Let's see, I don't know. I hope they're not using breathalyzers.
It's going to be interesting. When I passed through the roadblocks over the weekend, actually they didn't even talk to us. Just bye. Benito Natibi, let's have a COVID-free festive. Mr. President must also restrict those social gatherings at the beach, Koreangab Dam, Kavango Beach, and so forth. Rundu Beach is called, not Kavango Beach. But I mean, I guess we want to follow what South Africa is doing line for line, then we would probably have to close some of our beaches as well. But people are going to flock to the coast whether the beaches are open or not. I mean, I've spent a December in the coast or in both Swakop and Walvis without, actually ever once going to the beach.
Yeah, but I've been once to, I think they call it the Wambu Beach.
Yeah, in Walvis Bay.
Okay, no, that one wasn't in Walvis Bay. This one was in Swakopmund. It's in Venita. It's just one area where everybody comes for Christmas. The scenes there, it's like, it's very chaotic.
Yep.
It's very, very chaotic. There's cars that park, then they set up, there's big umbrellas, braais,
And it's difficult to control, even for the police. How are you gonna come control that situation?
So, like I said, I think the president has a blueprint from which to work from. Yeah. He knows our habits. And our movements, because we do the same thing every year. We go flock to certain areas. We're not so creative to identify new areas and somehow find a way to communicate it to everybody. You'll find that the president says no beach gatherings, and somebody come Christmas they will still go to the same beach waiting to see
Like, oh, other people.
where the people usually gather here. So, but yeah, he's got a blueprint from which to work from. We know Namibian habits and behaviors. We know our gathering points, and he's, I think, in a better position to put restrictions. He shouldn't be caught off guard by anything. Like I said, we're not that innovative and creative to suddenly identify new spots and somehow still communicate that to everybody. We are creatures of habit.
Yeah.
And that can work in favor of the president.
Yeah, we'll see. I think curbing the social gatherings probably is the way that they're going to go. Going from, I think we are at 200, or is it 100 people now? Maybe bringing it back to like 50 people. But then, which also makes it a bit difficult to sort of enforce, because if you come to the beach, there's like 500 people, but they are scattered in small groups, and everyone is saying no, but we're not interacting with those guys or with those guys. But then, intermittently you can find like a ice cube there, a lighter there, a what there. So it's really going to be interesting. I can't wait to hear what Mr. President has to say. All right, let's read a few comments. Moro Opa Neville. Ask Neville.
He said he just arrived in the 064, nice and quiet. So Neville yesterday says that he's driving to the coast this morning. Van Havel must know Khan, anticipating a lockdown.
Yes, I will Davies for lockdown.
He will must know Davies in the event that the president locks down. I'm just thinking, okay, if your president locks it, do you know that you have to come back? How are you going to come back?
So you're going to stay there until what?
Until what?
Yeah.
Now you have to get an emergency travel and you moet terugkom werk toe, but hoe sal dit werk? I don't know.
Yeah, meneer Basson. How's the weather in the coast, by the way? Knuckles Ferris, Mora. Oh, Achabasal Tumak. I don't think so. Estomich, opening the country for tourists is a problem. I know the country needs money. Since March, no tourists allowed in Norway and won't be allowed anytime soon. We did well during COVID compared to other Scandinavian countries. The president there has opened too soon for you all. Lockdown will come, I think so.
No, let's just be clear. Our issue is not the people coming in. The issue with our numbers is the spread that's happening rapidly. I mean, just last month, the Ministry of Tourism and Health, in collaboration, they actually gave out the stats of how many tourists came. I think it was about 4,000, but what they found is only 2 people out of that, in excess of 4,000 that came in, were COVID-19 positive, but it was detected early and they were put in isolation. So it's not the tourists that are coming in, because they also need to they need to get negative tests from wherever they're coming from as well. So
has to come from there.
So I, at this point, trust the tourists more in my proximity than I do a local.
Yeah.
Because at least with a tourist, I know
they're tested.
They've tested before they came in. Whereas in a local, I don't know, unless you are displaying symptoms,
it's
anybody's
difficult to tell,
guess if you have it or not. So the issue, again, let's be clear, is ourselves.
I don't think the tourists are the cause of the spread. I think it's more us, the locals, who are spreading the virus around, because we're not all of us are adhering to the precautions. Let's just put it that way. Rivaldo Ronaldinho April, the sun, the hot sun in the south, is protecting us from COVID-19. So Achaba must not close the nightclubs in Keetmanshoop. Bradley Bokovic, Luderitz is also a hot zone. I'm currently here for work cases. I'm standing almost at 300 for the 4 weeks that I'm here now. People here are just careless. Ish has to travel back this coming weekend to the big city. Let's hope you are allowed to travel back to the big city this coming weekend. But it's something that I picked up when I was in Okanja this weekend as well. And it's like I was saying yesterday, like in the small towns, especially the really small towns, Susdai, Okanja, and probably Luderitz as well, people are... they're not as, I don't want to say they're not as careful, but they are more carefree. Like mensen trekkie regtig masks and even sanitizers are not commonplace anymore.
I'm sure there are people in those towns that don't even have a mask.
Yes. That is very true. Stephanus James Ananias, I think we read this one about the breathalyzers. Good morning, everyone. He will copy and paste. Copycat. A loss on the president. 8 Mora. To the two left in the studio, are you here in studio the whole festive season? Oh, hell nah.
So look,
We're only
who wants to be talking to y'all the whole December?
Come on. We're only streaming until Thursday morning.
In fact, I'm leaving. Tomorrow is my last day.
Tomorrow is your last day. So that means effectively tomorrow is the last show. The last morning mix. No, like if more than two of us are not in studio, then it's not the morning mix anymore. So yeah, so Friday morning I'm also driving to the coast, so there effectively will not be a morning mix streaming. But during the course of Friday and Saturday, we will be streaming some stuff from the coast, from Swakopmund, from the fittest in the Namib competition. So yeah, you can keep checking out the Informanté Facebook page. That's Friday and Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. All right, maybe a couple more comments before we move on to something else this morning. I am not curious about what the president will say. I think he will copy and paste. You guys have very little faith in our president's ability to make up his own mind. Come on, we are on that small flu again. Please don't start like Donald Trump. It's not a small flu. It's not going to go away in the summer.
Speaking of Donald, have you been following the Electoral College?
Yeah, the Electoral College voted yesterday.
Yes.
And of course handed Biden the
officially
the election. And then there were clashes because, pro-Trumpers are rioting.
Yeah, because some states wanted to change.
Texas, like, I don't understand Donald Trump supporters. This Attorney General of the state of Texas basically wanted to sue Michigan, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and I think New Hampshire. I can't remember, but there were 4 states that they are trying to sue, or that they were suing, because they want all the votes from those 4 states to be thrown out, basically, which would mean that Biden moves below Donald Trump in the electoral college vote.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then of course the Congress would have to make the decisive vote, and then we all know that the Republican Congress is going to hand Trump the presidency. But what was crazy, right? This was not one outlier. There were like 17 other states, Republican-run states, that signed on to the lawsuit, wanting to disenfranchise basically millions of Americans' votes, just throw them out because they don't like who these people voted for. Yes. It's insane in the beacon of democracy in this world to be seeing something like that happen. It's just absolute insanity.
And to add to that, I found it interesting, and this is where they say that Trump is very selective in his while seeking for justice. Very selective. Apparently there's one state that largely voted for him, where they continued to take those mail-in ballots 9 days after the election.
Yes.
9 days after, they were still counting.
Yep.
Nobody complained. And obviously he didn't complain because he was winning in that state. So of course, keep counting.
Yes.
Keep counting. But in other states where he's losing, it's like, stop counting.
Stop the count.
Stop receiving them. Stop counting them. So it's like, what are you doing? The only person that has an issue is you.
Yes.
Where you want to apply rules selectively.
Yes. These guys are crazy.
That's your president.
You get people who are on the down ballot, right?
Yeah.
Because obviously it's the presidential election, and then there were the senators who were also in. Some of these guys won the senatorial races in these elections. But because Donald Trump lost, these guys are saying, no, I'm going to Congress because I got voted for, but the election was a fraud. We must throw it out because there's no way that many people could have voted for Biden.
Yeah.
And but it's the same ticket that elected you, so that means basically you are also illegitimate then. It's like, no, my votes are it's just the Trump votes are I just don't. It's just craziness.
It's madness.
Like the American news is calling it. It's like an attack on democracy.
Yeah, in some states they're receiving threats.
Yeah.
Because what they're doing is it's in states where they want them to overturn. And they say, no, look, even if I voted for Trump, it's not about what I voted.
Yes, it's not about
the
me.
majority say. And the majority said Biden. So we now need to go sign over that those 3 or 4 or 10 votes went to Biden.
Yes.
But there's pressure on them to change
them to a Trump
and now
vote.
they're being threatened.
and there's been actually since the weekend there's been a lot of clashes in various areas in the States.
Yep.
With pro-Trump protests, and then of course, what do they call them? Counter-protesters, which is sort of a thing in the States. I don't even know when that was born.
It's a Black Lives Matter, All Lives Matter.
Oh, okay. I see. Yes, I see.
Yeah, this always the
I
countering,
see.
yes. But yes, interesting times in the US if you're keeping up with the affairs. It's all very tricky because now you have to really understand how Electoral College works.
Yeah.
Because we've never had to do this.
Yeah.
This is the first time in the history of America.
We didn't even know there was all this nonsense. We didn't know there was this entire process that they had to go through.
Yes. So, but he lost.
I know he lost and he's going. He's going away.
Thank goodness.
Mr. One-term president. All right, Ro, I see the long essay that you sent here of something that you would like me and Maria to talk about. But before we maybe start chewing on outside news, maybe just touch on the Fisherot case from yesterday. Yesterday, yes? The guys were in court. And we are charging, according to the Prosecutor General, 3 more people will be charged in connection with the Fisherot corruption scandal. One of those we know definitely to be lawyer Miranda Clerk, who is currently in South Africa, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
There were two other local nationals.
Yes, there are 2 other, a certain Philippus and a certain, not Oscar, or Otniel.
Otniel, yes.
I'm not gonna say the sentence because I know there are Shivambo, but
the one guy runs fishing companies and abattoirs, and it is alleged that they also received some money, corruptly received some money. I guess it was bribes, or I have no idea.
I don't know. I don't think they are necessarily going for people that just received money.
Yeah.
Because even in that document by the PG where they're now trying to go for their assets, they said even if you receive something as a gift, it's you're gonna be looked at, but that you're not.
Let's see if you received it corruptly or it was just a gift.
So I think obviously more information will emerge when they go to trial 22nd of April. But what we're understanding, what I'm assuming is that their accounts were used.
To facilitate some transactions.
Yes, to facilitate, which is what we're seeing. Like even this, a lot of people ask, what is Pius doing in there? What is Pius doing in there?
Yeah.
What is his link? And it's also that his accounts were
money was being moved through
his accounts.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that with Miran we know that apart from his name being in the Kazakhstan thing, we know he used his trust.
His law firm's trust.
His law firm's trust was used to
also
divert,
move money.
Move money. So I'm assuming that it's the case with the other 2. But I know initially when we reported it and we did not say the names. There was speculation that these 3 are all the lawyers. The people, I don't know if they were hoping it was or just anticipating that it would be Sisa, Miran, and then that other guy that was on video, Saki Kadila.
Saki Amomo Kadila. Yes.
So people assume.
I actually also thought he was going to be one of them. Oh, it's interesting. By the way, it's Philippus Mwapopi and Otniel Shudifonia.
Yeah.
Shudifonia.
Yeah. We tried to Google both of them. The one guy you Google, what's it? Philippus.
Yeah.
Nothing comes up. with him.
None.
Nada. And then the other one, he's got
Some published papers, I
yes,
understand as
he
well.
was
So
in the
Okay.
council, I think. He went to rural town planning.
Oh,
or-
okay, I see.
Yeah, so there's some information on him, but yeah.
We of course going to continue to track this one. The Prosecutor General, Martha Imalwa, did say that the process of extraditing Mr. de Klerk from South Africa will be put in motion. Let's see how far that goes. This one, it seems like it's going to continue. Of course, yesterday we were sort of trying to figure out whether these guys would remain in prison or they might get released, which was, of course, always going to be a long shot. But it seems like they're going to spend another festive season. Anichuki.
Another festive season, another New Year's, another Valentine's Day. It's not Guys,
yeah.
stay away from criminal activities because woof.
Zorena yesterday, like she's telling me, these guys, I don't think these guys are coming from prison, huh? They are wearing their finest silk suits and
cleanly shaven.
These guys look cleaner than us. We're on the outside.
Yeah, I know. I look at that as well, but they've apparently lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, apparently Saki especially has lost
yes,
quite some weight.
Yes. But I guess
it's
prison.
not an easy environment too.
Yeah.
A lot of people, some people never adapt to being there.
Yeah.
Some people do adapt quicker than others. Corrie Koningsken Frederik, dit kom uit ons almal het wat van visrot. Ons almal moet toegesluit word. Geëet van visrot, I guess. Nee, we didn't all eat from visrot. Like, I think that's what I understand. Rivaldo Ronaldinho April, since tomorrow is the last day of the show, can we have an award ceremony like we did last year?
Maybe we should.
Yeah,
maybe we should.
Yeah. You guys just want to win, eh? What do you want to win?
No. The award ceremony had like Donkey of the Year. You know that?
Yeah. I remember what we did last year. We can do that. We can do that tomorrow. Trump besef nog nie die kleur op sy gesig is eiergeel nie. Dis Linda Low. Enjoy your holiday, Tati Neville, Mora Topi. These lockdowns don't make sense, all right? If you're going to lock down and you tell people on Friday we will lock down Okakarara at 12, I mean, people will flock out before lockdown commences, taking COVID to other towns if they have it. I mean, we tried to make that point already before, so that's what it is. It's to me, not saying tourists are, but you guys share a border with South Africa, which is a red zone.
But they still have to get tested to come in.
Yeah.
We don't have open borders. All our borders are closed. I mean, except those that are jumping borders to the north, which is Angola.
Yeah.
And between Botswana and Namibia. People, I mean, it's a river. So
people cross
rivers. But apart from all of that, we actually have, especially to the south, which
but
is South Africa, we have closed borders.
Guys, if you look at our numbers, right? Yes, it is alarming because it's going up, but we're still doing relatively well. We're still doing relatively well with the coronavirus. If you look at our neighbors, especially South Africa, Knuckles Ferris, Neville Basson, jy sal nie kan terugkom nie. Ou Lolo gaan toemaak. Cubase is jy kwaad vir my. Wat klink jy so droog? Es Krisa my bro, is Disa ek is al klaar in die vakansie vibe. Corrie Koningskind, where is that Neville? I cannot see him. He's under the table. Enjoy it, uncle, and please don't be an ice boy. Neville, what do you do? What do you have to say for yourself, ice boy? Anyway, there's something else also that was in the news yesterday that I wanted. We didn't really touch on it, but it is the issue of course, the diplomatic corps to Ethiopia incident that took place over the weekend, which is quite disturbing. let me maybe just give you guys a bit of insight. I'm sure most of you have already read the story, but before we chew on it, this is according to the Namibian Sun this morning. A troubled marriage and flirtations with divorce have been identified as key factors in the horrific murder of 2 children of Namibia's commercial attaché to Ethiopia, allegedly by their own mother. All right. Diehard Manchester United fan Peter Haufiku was watching the English Premier League match between Crystal Palace and Tottenham Hotspurs on Sunday afternoon when the news reached him that his 2 minor children were dead and his eldest son fighting for his life. His wife, Paulina, known in social circles as Christy, allegedly committed the killings. She lived with her husband in Addis Ababa and sometimes spent longer spells in Namibia. Now, the couple have endured a rocky marriage in recent months, and the husband had allegedly told both families that the incident or that he intended to file for divorce. And it is the divorce decision that allegedly unsettled the wife, who is suspected to have committed the killings because of the imminent separation from her husband. She was scheduled to appear in court in Addis Ababa yesterday over the merciless killings of her own children. I don't know if you read this story, but I know this.
Rumors of what? Divorce and what?
Basically, the marriage was rocky. And the rumor is, I think maybe the husband was planning to get a divorce.
You see, while it's important to understand perhaps the frame of mind of a alleged perpetrator, I mean, in this case, I don't think there's dispute that she killed. I mean, she still has to stand trial, but
yeah.
I just don't like how sometimes it reads like there's some sort of justification. And I certainly don't feel sorry for her. I certainly don't. What she did is heinous. I don't understand how you're trying to avenge.
Like to try and spite him, basically.
Yeah, how you're trying to avenge your issue, or is trying to avenge your husband's decision or plan to leave you by killing the children. It's just cruel. It's very cruel. It's effect. Yes. And the third one is in hospital right now.
Who survived? The eldest one.
Did they say how she tried to kill them?
I'm not, like when the stories were coming out yesterday, I think they said suffocation, but I can't really confirm it one way or the other. I guess both countries have been rather tight-lipped about the incident, but maybe the news is going to come out as the week progresses. And strangulation or suffocation, it's even worse because that is something you have to do physically.
Yeah.
To some, like you have to hold them down, or you
live in their body.
Yes, exactly. And to do that to your own children, it takes.
What are the ages again?
Special. I know. They don't put down the ages of the kids here. The other two here, but the eldest one who survived, I understand, is the husband's son from a previous relationship. And then the 2 younger ones are, of course, the 2 children that the 2 of them share, who did not survive the incident. It's very tragic.
It's of course, when you commit a crime like this, there's an element of not entirely being yourself. There's a mental illness.
Yes,
it's not normal.
There has to be something wrong with you to do that to your own children.
But again, there's a lot of people that struggle with mental health issues that are not violent or don't resort to that type of violence. So again, I'm always very clear in what I'm saying, because depression is an actual condition. And all these other schizophrenia and all these other mental health issues are actually real issues that people struggle with. People take medication for, people see therapy for, and whatever. But they don't resort. It doesn't make them necessarily violent. So we need to make that distinction that, yes, maybe she wasn't in her right state of mind, but she committed a very heinous crime.
Yeah.
And there's just no justification for, if the husband was planning to leave her, if there was infidelity, assuming, if there was any other issue, there is no justification for what she's done. And I I hope there's justice, because wow, this is terrible.
I also hope so. This really is terrible. It reminds me of a conversation that we had earlier on in the year here in the studio about owning people. And I can specifically hear you saying, again, people get left and people leave other people. It's not your person. It's not your person. Just get over yourself, get over it, and move on.
Yeah.
and it's an entitlement thing. I think it's not just guys, so ladies to a certain extent also. So we feel entitled to the other person just because we are together. I feel like I'm entitled to your everything.
No, not to an extent. We do.
Yes.
Women do as well. It's like as main man.
Yeah. So I would mark. Yes.
It's just a culture around here. You don't own people. People can go and people just like
they can come and go as they please.
They preposition you. They can also leave you.
Yes.
Everybody's free to go when they're not happy. Everybody else can go search for their happiness elsewhere.
Yeah. I kind of also sort of feel sorry for her, because I know. I mean, now after the incident, because she is probably sitting there with her thoughts and having to deal with, or having to reckon with what she has done. This is your children, not somebody else's children, your own children, which you birthed and then you raised, that are now gone off the face of this planet because of you. And they have not done anything. They did not deserve that kind of fate. You just inflicted it upon them. And she has to sit with those thoughts every day for the rest of her life. It's not something I wish upon anybody. It's almost similar to the situation of
Zenobia.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about Zenobia when this incident was happening. The woman in the coast that killed her daughter to spite the boyfriend.
The boyfriend, yes.
Who I think had impregnated another woman.
It's
again,
insane,
guys.
yeah.
It's and I think this. I mean, I sound harsh when I say it. I really do sound harsh when I say it, but I mean it. Some people have no business being parents. Absolutely.
That is absolutely true. I agree with you 100%.
No business being a parent.
Yes.
And I mean, this story came out in the wake of, there was another story that I told you I didn't really have internet, so I only gouged on it on Sunday. But there was a story in SA as well about a mother and her boyfriend shamboking their 12-year-old, or a woman's 12-year-old to death, because there were rumors that she was seen kissing a boy. So she was seen kissing a boy.
And they beat her to death.
They beat her to death with a sambok. This woman, they obviously both have been arrested. But again, goes back to what I'm saying. Some people have no business
being parents.
You're
absolutely right.
I think about, in this case, there's 3 children that she attempted to kill. So she started with the first one. After the first one, if nothing clicks.
Yes.
Like you became unfeeling. Like you must be cold and unfeeling and just cold-hearted, to be able to see one child die.
Kill a second one.
And still have the strength to attempt
to kill a second one, and then attempt a third one.
And then still manage that, and then attempt a third one. At what point do you become a human being?
Yeah.
At what point do you become a mother? When does the maternal instinct kick in and say, whoa, what am I doing? And
they were not crying for daddy, they were crying for mommy.
Yes, of course, like kids do. So
it's just painful.
Stories like this just send like absolutely, and I am, by the way, just I get goosebumps when I think about.
I'm starting to tear up a little bit, so maybe let's read some comments. Estomi Shumeshta, depression when not treated is fatal. Davu Nunyango, temporary moment of insanity. And I think also as the black community, we have to recognize depression as a serious illness.
Yeah, we need to mental health issues.
We sort of write it off when somebody is going through a depressive state. It's like, Maria Jidok Vendej. And you never realize that this person could be dealing with a serious situation that could become life-threatening, not only to themselves, but also to those around them.
You must admit when you're not doing okay.
Yeah.
And go seek help.
It's true. Rob Vieira saying R.I.P. to Tate Shamu as well. 2020 was disgusting. Yes, I also heard that news when I was back home over the weekend. Tate Shamu's and he passed away, I think, over the weekend in the Democratic Republic of Congo. So, R.I.P. to him. So, why punish him by taking the kids' lives?
Yeah, just a cruel way of doing anything. It's very cruel.
And Chindo Wesley is saying that word allegedly, even when you are clearly guilty. Only the courts can pronounce you guilty.
No, unfortunately.
No one else can pronounce you guilty except
not
for
the
a
court
court
of public opinion. And yes, we're obviously all guilty of it. We make our own. We are the judge, the juror, the prosecutor.
Yes. Exactly, yes. Even if you guys see me shoot somebody in the street, until a court says I'm guilty, I'm allegedly.
Yeah, you're not a criminal.
Yeah. Munja. Yeah, Munja Nzundamo. Zambezi region has not reported any COVID-19 cases in over a week. Are they still testing that side, or are there just no cases? I have no idea what the situation in the Zambezi is. Maybe on Thursday when we talk to Mr. Smart on the community chat with Durkas, we're going to find out what the situation is over there. Anyway, Corey Koningskant, it's real disturbing. Those things reflect back upon us. The actions of those of us in society. Estomi Shmesta, are you guys going to live stream the fittest in the Namib or fittest in the Namik? As Neville says. Estomi, oh, you guys, you don't forget, especially come at the mistakes. When we give you advice, you don't listen. But when we make a mistake, you guys will remember it until now. Gok. Yeah, man. Jacques Dutoy, apparently most private hospitals are also full. Oxygen is getting low, and there's already not enough ventilators.
There's always the risk we run when cases are going up like that, because then the critical ones need oxygen and they need ventilation. I mean, we know that there's no treatment, so that's the only way. You need to be able to breathe, and we know we've had a shortage. I don't know, did they buy new machines?
I do not think so. I doubt it very much. We spent money on campaigns. We didn't spend money on it.
Yeah, okay, but campaign is private stuff, so let me know. It's not state money.
No, I'm not talking about just the state. I'm saying we, all of us, like opposition, everybody, we spend money campaigning. Now there's no money to do anything else. Tena number Cubase, kry jy nie weer my comments nie. Kyk hier, het sê. Hoekom moet jy van stry jy tena? Jy hou net van stry nie. Jy maak my bang om keetmans toe te kom. Stephanus James, hoe jy gaan tronk toe, dan kom jy vet uit. Hey, some people are ballers like that. You never know. Liva Hiskia, this topic is heartbreaking. If I just thought what those children went through, I don't even want to hear someone's kid crying. It breaks my heart.
Yeah, it's very sad.
It is a very sad story. AVW, back to poverty, they think. Right? And if nothing else, this shows you that, it's not a poverty problem. It's not just this is a part of basically the Namibian diplomatic core to Ethiopia. So it's not poverty-stricken. It's not a poverty-stricken family that this happens in. So, some people, they look at these crimes and they think it's a poor people problem. It's poor people who are beating each other in their houses. It's poor people where all these things are happening.
Okay, when we talk about SGPV, people assume it's...
Yes.
And it does, yes. It does mostly affect
the poor.
The poor, but it's not a poor problem.
Yes.
It's a people problem.
It's a people problem.
No.
Yeah, you're damn straight. Peter Tayanda Kamushivulu. Guys, I love you all in the studio. Maria, you are the type of girl every man deserves.
No, I'm going to tell my pilot boyfriend.
It's because you guys don't know Maria. Some men are going to run. Maria is a dime. Estomic depression, we're not treated as fatal. Yes, I checked that comment out a bit earlier on. Vas, Ro posted something a bit earlier on, like a long statement
that he wants us to.
that he wanted us to get on.
I also didn't read. I just read something for you guys to discuss. Okay, here, let me read. Cuba-based Namibia and Maria, perhaps. Topic of the day. What is your take? Malema tweeted, "We need to help when a woman is in trouble," while sharing a video of a guy beating his lady at a filling station and a group of guys dala him nice. A guy replied, "I once tried to assist a lady. Same situation in Renkwa." I don't know what that is. The dude took a gun and told me I will die for things I don't know. Another one also replied, "I remember we once tried to help out a lady in similar situation. My friends and I jumped out the car to stop the guy. He fought us and we just beat him up, and the lady started throwing bricks at us, even broke 2 windows off and a mirror of my brother. I had to go back home."
Yeah.
So what is the alternative? Not to do anything at all?
Look, these incidents do happen. I can also admit that often, maybe let me not say often, but
Sometimes.
sometimes when you do, try
Get
to
involved.
intervene in these kind of situations, it seems like it becomes the two of them against you, because you are the outside force trying to, I don't know, intervene in whatever the situation is. But you should also understand, I don't know, what do they call it? Stockholm Syndrome, where you start basically sympathizing with your captor, what do they call it? Kidnap victims. There's this thing that where you get kidnapped and they keep you for so long, basically, that you start to sympathize with them. You start helping them, basically, to keep you in captivity. And this also happens to some people in abusive relationships, not necessarily verbatim as I was saying now, Stockholm Syndrome, but that similar kind of situation where you would rather stay with your messed up boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever the situation is than have other people come interfere in your business. But still, that doesn't mean for those of us who are watching from the outside, you just stand by and watch. And I hate to make this example because Maria doesn't like it when we do. But what if it was your sister? What if it was your daughter? What if it was your, somebody that is a loved one to you? Would you also just stand there and watch them get beaten up because, no, I don't get involved in other people's domestic issues? That is one of the worst excuses I've ever heard. It's like getting robbed on the street and people just walking by and saying, no, I don't get involved in other people's issues. That is not the society we want to live in. That is not the people we want to be to each other. I mean, we have to have some sort of an obligation to each other in society as far as our conduct and what we will allow.
Let me tell you something about abusive men. They're cowards, generally. Okay, they do it because they think they can get away with it, because there's no consequence, because there's no repercussion, and because I can do what I want with you.
He won't lift his arm against somebody who he thinks is gonna beat him.
Exactly.
Yes.
He does it. You prey on the weak and the vulnerable.
Yes.
That's abusive men. The cowards. Okay. Imagine a society where nobody let that slide.
Yeah.
Like, whether the woman needs or wants, no, she needs it, but whether the woman, in this case the victim, wants it or not, people are intervening. Whether she wants it or not, people are intervening.
Yes.
Because she needs it, whether she knows it or not. Imagine a society that just has a zero tolerance to violence, especially domestic violence, and stepped up and handled a man
Who
every
beats his
time,
woman.
even in a community setting. You don't even have to see it. You just see that the woman has been beaten.
Yeah.
And as men, as of a community, you come together and you go and handle that situation. And I'm not saying how she may not go kill the man, you know, but you handle it. I promise you, we're going to see a decline.
Yeah.
Of cases. And I remember reading, I think it was last year, this woman was saying that when as a woman, she's the only girl, and she had I think 7 brothers. Very protective brothers. And when she got married, the brothers apparently went to the husband. Said, okay, you married our sister, your brother-in-law will love you, no problem.
If you touch my sister.
But if you ever, don't ever make a mistake, if you ever lay a hand on our sister, we will sort you out.
I don't care what she does. If she does something to upset you, bring her back to us.
Yeah. But if you
you do not lay your hands on her.
And she was just tweeting about how, I think she was jokingly tweeting about how she sometimes took advantage of it. Like if the man, she was like, I'm only of my screening, Sami Bruce can say.
Yes.
But the point is it kept her husband in check. Because while he didn't fear her,
he feared them.
Very much so.
Yes.
And that kept him in line. And now take the brother narrative and make it community. If
the community says we're not going to stand for this.
Yes, if a community says we're not going to stand for this at all, I can almost assure you that it will be very difficult for these perpetrators, these violent men, to beat their partners. At least they'll think of something else, because while they're not afraid of their partners, they're not afraid of the women. If they know that there's consequences and that they can also be beaten.
Yes. There's going to be a consequence. You'll find another way to solve your problems. We're not kids anymore. You're adults. Yep. Communicate if you have a problem and you try and find a solution. Otherwise, you leave.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Exactly.
Yeah. Raymond Basson, Cubase, you just be careful to get involved in such things. Sometimes those cowards can be very dangerous. Some people even lost their lives by getting involved in these situations. And I understand that. That is a risk that exists every time you step in to try and stop a fight, whether it's between 2 men, 2 women, a man and a woman.
But the alternative is just to watch and not do anything.
Yeah, the alternative is
I think that's a worse.
Because imagine what we as a society, what message we are sending to that girl who's being beaten in front of people and everybody's just standing and watching. You're telling her, you deserve it. Nobody's gonna help you. You're on your own on this one. Go deal with your fires. And you think this person is ever gonna muster the courage to even want to walk out of that relationship or to go report to the authorities?
Or the absolute worst one. Nee, ons weet nie wat het sy gaan doen.
Maar wat het sy gedoen? Exactly.
Nee, I'm not getting involved. Weet nie wat het sy gaan doen. You're already saying that she must have done something that warrants the beating. That this beating be justified. Because if she's done something you don't agree with, actually, essentially what you're saying is that she deserves to be beaten.
She deserves to be beaten. That's exactly what you're saying.
Yes, and there's just no excuse.
It's like, nee, maar ek het gehoor dat Cherry sy cheat ook op jou. Like, what does that have to do with the beating? Yes. Like, that doesn't give him the right to hit her at all. Right, Natangwe Ipinge Shikongo, she was my varsity classmate, and it's just so unreal. Her personality and the deeds she committed are just not clicking together. It's seriously just devastating. It's like we were saying earlier, we need to start handling mental issues in our society, in our communities, a lot better as a society. We are very dismissive of some of these things. I'm sure there was signs that, she was not at 100. Let's just put it that way. So, also, I do not want to sort of deflect blame and try and say that maybe the people around her should have picked up on something. But I'm just saying, as a community, we need to remove this taboo and this stigma attached to mental illnesses, right? It doesn't make you a crazy person just because there's something wrong with your psyche. Liber Hiskia, you can even be billed as the Rock. I will stop you when you abuse your woman or a woman. I usually start verbally first and then draw my weapon to intervene. In those situations, I will probably also draw a weapon. Again, I've seen some guys with kapundas having 6-packs now from drinking lemon water for this past 7 months. eating healthy because of COVID. And he was replying to this comment by Rob Vieira. This is my problem with this COVID situation. During elections, there was no testing happening at Robert Mugabe Clinic, and the cases were just dropping every day. Plus, no deaths, no one going to quarantine, and just like that, COVID was gone. Now, boom, testing in full swing, and all these cases left and right. Drink your lemon water and onsal obvious spaza virus. Listen, Oro, who was going to tell you guys to go and test?
You only go test if you have symptoms, just by the way.
Yes, look, the reason why let's say the reason why there was no testing at Robert Mugabe, like you are claiming, right? Was that because government told you guys not to go test anymore, or was it because you guys decided you don't want to go test? So you can't blame that on anybody, actually. As Jella, but nivel gaan toets nie because you have an issue or this or that issue with the test itself, or with, I don't know what you guys, what your problems are. But it's I guess also a little bit true that the fact that we are testing more now after the elections. But is it after the elections or is it before the holidays? What do you think, Mr. Ro? Let's end the show with the spelling mistakes. Zelo, fly, fry, Cubase Neville from the Namik. Jane, I'm going to ban you from the show for until next year. Dion Chimsizel says, call the police if you can't intervene. Just do what you can. You don't have to risk your life. I tried calling that 10111 number again. City police number. You know, I thought maybe it was a special occasion. You remember when I was telling you the other time I tried calling? I tried calling almost like half a day, and there was still no one picking up. And it was not even after hours only that I was calling. So, yeah, that's our country, guys.
Continue.
That's answer country there.
Come in
now. Let me try and find some more of comments just to bring you guys into the show as well. I think we are pretty much done with what with the show for this morning. Hola. Jacques Dutoy saying it's not about the numbers, it's about how full the hospitals are, how much oxygen is left, and how many ventilators are available. Those should be used as indicators to determine the pandemic's seriousness, not the daily positive count. Understood. Of course, a lot of people are going to test positive without ever needing to be hospitalized. But do we have the correct numbers of hospitalizations? Do we know what our hospitals look like around the country, not just, for instance, here in the capital city? And I'm talking about both state and private hospitals. Anyway, nee man, Maria, kom ons gaan eindelijk. Shouldn't we go?
Nee, dat is nog dicht.
Nee, let's go. Let's go. There are no comments here.
Let's gouge on another topic.
There are no comments here. Let's not go. It's holiday. What do you want to talk about? Quickly.
Anything.
Come on, anything. You want to talk about... I'm tired of talking about crime and SGBV also. But I guess... in some brighter news for this morning, the alleged serial rapist from the coast, Walvis Bay to be specific, he was arrested and denied bail. A 28-year-old man suspected of preying on women in Walvis Bay's Quisopmund township was arrested on Friday. His modus operandi was to break into the woman's shack while they were sleeping and rape them at gunpoint. The accused, Michael, made his first court appearance in the Walvis Bay Magistrates Court yesterday morning and was positively identified by one of his victims. Still have the likes of these living amongst us. It's insane.
Yep.
It is insane.
It was, I know during that time there was a lot of fear.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's mostly for impoverished women because we're talking about women that live in shacks, formal settlement of Quisopmund. Coming in, robbing them and raping them. You would just six cases.
Why don't you just get a girlfriend?
Please don't say that. Oh, it's a rest response with a rapist. No, don't say that. That's not.
No, but like, I mean, if you want to have sex so much that you are going out every night to try and rape somebody, why don't you just get into
rape?
Share that kind of thing with somebody.
Rape is not deprivation. Please, let's get that out of our heads. That's what I'm saying when people say just get a girlfriend. Rape is not because they are sex deprived. All right.
Okay.
It's the power over.
Like that. Okay, you want to have basically that control. Somebody else, like I can do whatever I want to you when there's nothing you can.
Yes, there are cases of rapists, serial rapists, where they had families. So you'd leave your house and go out and rape because you got a thrill, you got excited by putting yourself onto somebody
else. Yeah,
you understand. So it's not about not having a girlfriend. You could have had a girlfriend. You might have a girlfriend. He could have had sex with his girlfriend and still gone out and raped. We need to. So rape is not as a result of being sex deprived.
Yeah, I think we should really get like a psychology session every week, once a week, in the show for next year, because it's some of this it's impossible to understand.
Yeah, of course, and it's like also like pedophilia. People don't understand. It's like a lot of even men that rape their young daughters, children in nappies, babies, and you're like, oh, but don't you have a girlfriend? Don't you have don't you?
How do you even get turned on by a baby?
Nothing to do with sex deprivation. It's
like sick.
It's very sick. It's very sick.
Oh man. Wesley Mwilima saying Cuba is the alleged guard of the founding father who committed suicide. Okay, you just throw that out there. I don't get.
What did he say?
You just said Cuba is the alleged guard of the founding father who committed suicide.
Yeah, what about him? Yeah, there's news that the former. He was definitely in VIP, but it is claims that he was the guard. He was one of the bodyguards of the founding president, and he shot himself. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know to discuss on that.
Yeah, because it's a statement, I guess. I don't know where you want it to lead. Anyway, usually this abuse thing starts at home. Girls and boys seeing their fathers hitting and abusing their mothers, and these children see it as being okay. Yes, that is true, but that's not the only place where it starts. Abusive people who come out of non-abusive homes, like we also see and mimic our environment. Yes, our society and especially your clique. Because I can, as a guy, right, I can tell you. Basically, maybe 40% or even less of my character came out of the house. Most of it came out of the streets, the things I was hearing from my friends and from the TV and from the music that we were listening to. And I don't want to upset the guys, right? But don't you think, especially the massage problem that we have now, if you look back at especially the lyrics of the music from the 90s, which is our music, and look at the misogyny that our generation deals with. Yeah, so yes, the parents play a role, but the society, your community also plays a big role. I'm sure there are a lot of things that you do today that you did not learn from home, that you picked up from your friends and your buddies.
Takes a whole community.
Yes, and that cool guy who lived at the corner and all these things. So yeah, Estomi is saying most people suffer in silence when it comes to depression. Gabrielle Union has suffered from it for years, and she finally spoke out. Hers was triggered because she was held at gunpoint while being raped. She's really tough, or that's really rough. So we need to tell our close friends and family, and especially your doctor, get help. Help is out there. All right, that is true. Q1011 is Nampol. Of course, no one will pick up City Police always picks up on 320. All right, I will try that one next time, Mr. Thomas. Come on, Nampol. Of course, no one is going to pick up. That just sums up what, we have come to expect and we have come to accept from our officials. Anyway, Maria, I think those are the comments that we had for now. Kom ons gaan, man.
Yeah, kom ons gaan.
Let us go.
It's a slow day.
Yeah, tomorrow is going to be interesting. We have sort of been talked into doing awards for tomorrow morning on the show. Yeah, we'll see. I hope all of you are going to be around. And Jay Neville, Mejo Flo, hope Jay Soki, at least on the other side watching and adding your 2 cents.
Did he drive early morning?
I guess so. What time is it now? Probably drove like around.
But that he will be on the stream already in 2 hours. Zeker 5, man.
Yeah, maybe before 5. But you can Neville and say Bentley Moss. It doesn't feel like he's moving fast, but he is. Yeah. I hope they gave you a ticket, Neville, along the way. Anyway, Maria, kom ons gaan, man.
Yeah, kom ons gaan.
All right, guys.
All right, that's our show, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you for tuning in.
Have a lovely Tuesday.
Ons is weer terug môre. And don't forget, Dirk continues with his cooking series with Chef Terry Jenkins. That's coming your way between 12 and 1, streaming live on your Facebook page. Ons is gone.
Hey! Wake up! This public service announcement is brought to you by